Chicago Facebook page. This first question, and it's a big one, this comes from Stefani F., and she writes, what is your plan to address the pension crisis and not raise our taxes again? So, Mr. Pritzker, you get the chance to answer this. The first one, what is your plan to pay for the state's pension liabilities, now $130 billion or somewhere in that neighborhood? And can you do it without raising taxes on people in Illinois?
Well, let's start with the fact that the Supreme Court in the state of Illinois ruled that we must pay the pensions that are owed to people. And I believe that it's also a moral obligation to pay those pensions to teachers, to nurses, to state workers who've earned them. When they took the job, they were promised a pension and benefits. It's the obligation of the state to step up and do that. And that's what the Supreme Court ruled. Governor Rauner wants to bankrupt the state. That's what he proposed late last year. He went to the federal government and suggested bankrupting Illinois in order to avoid paying people the pensions that are owed to them. The fact is that if you bankrupt the state of Illinois, that will end up costing the taxpayers tens of billions of dollars for decades to come, because our credit rating would go even further into the drink. He's driven it down 8 notches, and it would become further into junk status. We would pay a very high interest rate. It's wrong. We need to step up and make sure we pay the pensions. The cost curve has in fact been bent as a result of the Tier 2 system.
Thank you.
And we should stand up for that.
We'll come back in just a second. Governor, what's your answer to the state pension crisis? And would you consider Illinois going into a bankruptcy of some sort?
No, Mr. Pritzker is not telling the truth again. Here's the answer. We need to do the consideration model. It's been proposed by reform-minded Democrats in the General Assembly. I have agreed with them. We have a bipartisan plan that could save billions of dollars at the state and local level by giving our state employees choices, options to choose a current compensation package tied to a particular pension plan. We can save billions without raising taxes, and we can protect the existing pensions. Anybody who's retired keeps their pension. Anybody who's earned a pension through today keeps that pension with no changes. But for future work, we can have, and for new hires, we can have a different plan.
Would that require a constitutional amendment to do that?
It would not. It would not. It would be constitutional. Mr. Pritzker is running on a tax hike. He doesn't want to say how high because he knows he wouldn't win election if people knew what they're going to get socked with taxes. He's also proposed to the Daily Herald, with a direct quote, a vehicle's miles tax. He wants to tax
That's just
people
not true,
when
Governor.
they drive their car. He wants to put a box in everybody's car. He said it right in front of a newspaper.
Well, let's get to that, Mr. Pritzker. I know you've talked about this before. Are you for that type of device in vehicles for a vehicle tax?
I have never proposed a vehicle mileage tax. Here is what I believe, that there are real differences, for sure, on the subject of taxes in the state of Illinois. I want to lower taxes for the middle class and those striving to get there, and I want to lower their property taxes and their income taxes. Now, Governor Rauner, on the other hand, proposed a $1 billion shift of pension costs, not to get rid of those pension costs, but to make people pay it at the local level, which means that one of the most regressive taxes that we have, which is property taxes, would go up in municipalities and counties all across the state of Illinois. That's not the way to solve our state's problems.
Property tax reduction.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pritzker. Thanks. Our next question comes from Erica. Mr. Pritzker, you'll get the